How is Madame feeling now?
Better, thank you, Detective. She's resting in her room. It is the best place for her.
And you, mademoiselle?
I'm not quite sure. It is a rather surreal feeling. I did not think I would miss him like I do.
It is understandable. He has been a close friend to your maman for many years.
And to me, Detective. We had grown close. After Father's passing, he was always there for me. And now, he's gone as well.
You must try and not think on it like that.
It is easier said than done, Detective.
I have no doubt, but you can be assured the culprit will not remain at large for long. You have my word.
I should return to my room now, Detective. It has been a trying day for us all.
Indeed.
Oui, mademoiselle. I am afraid tomorrow may bear a resemblance, but I will not stop until I have found his killer.
I am certainly glad you are here, Detective.
When and where a detective is required, that is where I shall be. Bonne nuit, mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle left me with an interesting thought, one I had not considered until now. While at first glance the guests do not appear to show much fondness for each other, Mademoiselle is quite sure this is not the case. Perhaps I must consider looking at the guests together and not individually. Oh, we'll be veering towards Orient Express and combinations. Ah, okay. Pushing for dirt on the mayor, and she bumped heads with it.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
I doubted Jackie's involvement with the murder, but now I'm dubious of her innocence.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Apparently I've connected another one. And now of all the motives from the guest, who is under suspicion. All motives confirmed. Okay. Right, okay, so... all motives confirmed, all alibis confirmed.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
That seems like a really weird thing to combine, but alright. Don't know who I can trust or whose stories I can believe. Are the guests innocent? All guests are suspicious. And they've all known each other for years.
Magnifique.
I now doubt how trustworthy their stories may be. They may well be covering for each other. There is no physical way one of the guests could have killed the Major and returned to the party, unless that is where I am mistaken. It is not one guilty party I should be looking for, rather multiple. Yeah, okay, so we're going Orient Express. Well, we're in the Orient Express. That doesn't make any sense, though. It could, well, it depends how you define responsible. But it could be that they're lying about alibis. Right, that one's now done. I need to investigate the murder and investigate the blackmail. Is there anyone I need to talk to? How could I have not considered that the Major's death part of a ploy created and executed by more than one of the guests? It came almost as an epiphany following Mademoiselle Angeline's remark about the guests' shared past. Perhaps Mademoiselle will become the trusted ally that I now sense may be essential to catching the guilty parties. Tonight's questioning was only the beginning. I will allow my suspects to sleep on their stories, and we'll see how they fare tomorrow. Perhaps one of those involved will have morals enough to show a glimmer of regret. Considering they may be working together, I cannot be sure who has told the truth and who has attempted to sell me down the fleuve. Why didn't you translate that into riff? Alright. Perhaps I should sleep on the matter. A good night's sleep will surely bring a new dawn of thinking, and what a better setting to do so than the peaceful falling blanket of snow that surrounds us all. Although, it seems not everyone has the same idea. And now we veer into chapter 5. The secret. Oh, wow. So we're solving the blackmail before we're solving the murder. Okay, I thought the murder would have been like an interlude. A restless sleep combined with the image of the eerie figure in the snow has only convoluted what my little grey cells must consider. I should not have expected this to be a simple case. I've been lied to by at least one of the guests. Their alibis all confirm each other's, but I know this not to be true. Unless maybe the dad is alive. Like the secret rooms people can't go into in this dark figure. I don't know. How the Major was involved with the blackmail eludes me for now. Once I've confirmed whether he was the author or recipient, I can consider my next step in my investigation. Right. Okay, so nothing there. Talk to Archibald, because he's here.
Good morning, Detective. You slept well?
I'm afraid I did not. I was hoping for at least a moment of pleasant slumber, but alas, it was not to be.
Alas.
Finding the Major's killer is the only thing that will put my mind at ease.
In that case, Detective, what can I do to help?
Didn't the figure have this kind of shape? Oh, yeah. Oh, telephone.
I would, but I'm afraid I found this morning that the telephone lines aren't working. The snow continued through the night and must have damaged them. Even if we could use the telephone, I don't think anyone would be able to reach us.
In that case, it will be up to myself alone to solve the case.
I'll let you know if anything changes. But until some of the snow clears, enough for the carriages to arrive, we are snowed in.
Although I'm not able to call upon or leave the house to find help from the local authorities, it also means none of the guests are able to leave either. I have until the snow clears to find not only Mademoiselle Angeline's blackmailer, but also the Major's killer. The Major's body.
Taken care of. Master Dremir and his brother, after sobering up, helped me move him into the cellar. Best place for the time being.
Très bien. I imagine there is no reason for anyone to go down there.
Besides me, no one. Once this snow clears, we will be able to move him from the house.
While watching the snow last night, I swear I saw the silhouette of a figure in the garden.
In that snow? If someone was out there, we'd have another body on our hands.
I realize how strange it sounds. I would not believe it myself if I had not seen it with my own eyes.
Staff have reported seeing things in the dark before, but it always just turns out to be shadows. It was likely just your mind playing tricks.
I did not see Mademoiselle Elizabeth last night.
I'm afraid our Lizzie is not well. I think the events of yesterday were too much for her. We'll have to just make do without her this morning.
Aww.
As Wordsworth once stated, rest and be thankful. Perhaps a chance of peace and relaxation will work wonders.
I'd like to speak with Madame van den Bosch at the earliest convenience.
She is currently eating breakfast alone in the dining room. It's how she prefers it. But if you wish to speak with her now...
It is important I speak with her, but perhaps it is better to allow her to finish. I don't wish to upset her before I have even asked my first question. I could perhaps investigate the garden for any evidence of the figure from last night.
Your assistance has been most valuable as always.
Okay, so let's head out then. Oh, hang on. Let's chat with Angeline.
Good morning, Detective. I hope you were comfortable last night.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. The room was more than pleasant, merci. I'm afraid my mind was not in a state to enjoy it to its full potential, though.
I can't imagine any of us slept soundly last night.
Hopefully guilt will be weighing heavily on someone's shoulders this morning.
Perhaps on more than one set.
I'm sorry if I was not much help last night, Detective.
On the contrary, your inside knowledge of the guests was of great help to my investigation. But there are many more questions that require answers.
What were your feelings towards the Major's position in the house?
His position? You mean about him living here?
Oui, even in a house this size, you must see a lot of each other.
I enjoyed having him here. When I was away with Gideon, it was comforting to know Maman was not alone. Although his work with Mr. Da Silva has kept him away from the house of late.
What can you tell me about their relationship, working or otherwise?
There is not much to tell, only that there is no love lost between them.
Do you know what their business entailed?
He was always quite private about his work. I know that he was helping Mr. Da Silva with some safety matters.
I found a check addressed to the Major from Monsieur Da Silva. It noted security consulting.
Did I?
Ah, that's right, security. With his military training, he helped Mr. Da Silva prepare for any trouble with the strikes.
Although the Major's death has taken precedence, there has been a development in the blackmail case.
A development? Oh, Detective, I knew I could count on you.
It may not be the news you had wished for, though. Another letter has been found.
Addressed to me? I don't know how much more I can take of this.
Pardonnez-moi, mademoiselle. Although it has been written in the same manner, using similar phraseology, it was not sent for your eyes, rather the Major's. Or at least that is how it seems.
I'm sorry, Detective, I don't understand. It is addressed to him or not?
I found it in the Major's study yesterday while conducting my preliminary search. Whether he is the author of the letter or the recipient, I am still yet to discover.
Could he have been behind the blackmail?
Heavens no, he could not do that.
You did not hesitate for a moment.
Why would he do such a thing? And then to send a letter to himself? It just doesn't make sense.
Merci for your time, mademoiselle. You are to a detective what an umbrella is to a traveler on a wet day.
Useful?
Exactement.
High praise. Investigate the Major's involvement with the blackmail. Right. The brothers moved the body. Angeline knew the... Okay, so those are connected. So she knew the Major well. She disputes the possibility of him being a blackmailer.
The puzzle are finally coming together.
Okay. One can't be surprised with Angeline and Felix's bond. He's been a figure in her life for so long. Angeline is attached to the Major. I'm not entirely sure that flows, but alright. Out to the garden then. Finding evidence of the figure from last night will on one hand confirm I am not seeing things as Monsieur Sterling suggests, on the other hand pose even more questions that must be answered. A small trail of footprints in the snow. The Major was seen walking around here yesterday. In fact, his lighter. A well-made lighter with the insignia of a military regiment. The Major must have dropped it. You could tell us what the insignia was, and then we could figure out what regiment it's meant to have been. It was around here, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Fallen bird feeder. It has almost disappeared in the snow. I doubt we will see too many birds in these conditions. Okay. Really should have worn a coat. Exit is impossible. The house is completely snowed in. It does not look like we shall be going anywhere anytime soon. The snow is still falling. I am hardly dressed for the occasion. Perhaps Madame van den Bosch has finished her breakfast and is ready to answer my questions. So maybe, okay, maybe that was all we had to see. Okay. Okay, so I think we've thoroughly investigated. It does mean that if the shadowy figure was a person, they must be someone still in the house. When I must speak with Madame van den Bosch. I should also take the opportunity to talk to Mademoiselle Rihanna in the kitchen. Where's the kitchen then? Is that further down this way? Drinks globe. To the kitchen. We've not spoken to Rihanna, so let's do that first. Pots and pans. There you go.
Bonjour, madame. You must be the wonderful cook.
Wonderful and modest, sir. I am Rihanna.
My taste buds thank you for the ravishing meal last night. It has been some time since I ate so well.
Glad to hear it, sir.
S'il te plaît, madame. A detective is fine.
In that case, mademoiselle is fine for me, and I will ignore your presumption of marriage.
Très bon, mademoiselle.
Okay. Meet all the characters in the game. Okay. You took some ice to the Major yesterday.
I did. Monsieur Archie told me what had happened. Bruises can swell fast, so I took him some ice to bring it down.
Strange, Monsieur Sterling told me it was the Major that requested the ice.
How was the Major when you saw
Okay,
him?
so the butler is definitely lying about something.
Grumpy, as always.
I suppose one would not take kindly to being punched as he was.
Punched or not, he was as ungrateful as ever.
But what would the butler gain? What would the butler gain from the ice being up there? I don't know. You've been with the Van den Bosch family for quite some time.
That's right. I've seen staff come and go, but a house always needs a trustworthy cook.
I agree. But if I was to eat what you prepare every day, I fear I may be the size of La Maison.
Not a bad thing, detective. You could do with some meat on your bones.
Well, with the snow still not clearing, we may be stuck here for the weekend. Perhaps I should look to adjust my pantalon buttons. I shall not keep you any longer. Merci, mademoiselle.
Didn't we already know she was a mademoiselle? We were already saying mademoiselle. Just talk to Cassandra then. So yeah, that's interesting about the ice. I'll talk to Cassandra.
Bonjour, madame. May I offer my condolences for your loss?
Thank you, Detective, but they are not necessary. What can I do for you?
I was hoping you would be prepared to answer some questions.
If I must.
Why would someone want to kill the Major?
I'm sure you're aware he was not the easiest man to get along with. His hot temper made him a number of foes.
A hot temper is reason enough to kill a man.
Depends what he does with it.
His mouth often acted before his brain. Perhaps someone had grown tired of dealing with it.
Yeah, you suggested why someone might kill him, but who do you believe could do it?
Seeing as I heard Mr. Becker's in what I would describe as an unnecessarily loud exchange of words yesterday, he would be my first suspect.
It's always the loud ones.
You heard them yourself.
How could I not? The volume they were shouting at, I could hear them from the study in my room.
You did not think it fitting to tell me this yesterday?
I didn't think Felix was going to wind up dead and a murderer loose in my house. My apologies, Detective.
How thoughtless. Although I must learn more of this argument, it's not Madame that I expect the answer to come from, rather Monsieur Beckers. He has a great deal of explaining to do. Alyssa was found in the Major's study.
I assume you are talking about the supposed blackmail letter.
Oh, okay, so it was aimed at him.
Oui, madame. You know of it?
It arrived shortly after the first. Rather coincidental, if you ask me.
I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to say, madame.
He no doubt had secrets hidden away. But do you honestly think Felix had anything of value to his name worth threatening him for?
Perhaps you should enlighten me.
Well, he was here, living in my house, eating my food, prepared by my staff. Does that answer your question, Detective?